everyone, I'm Shauna and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a few ways in which I believe the beauty space on YouTube promotes overspending. Let me begin by saying this. The beauty community and the beauty space on YouTube does revolve around a commodity, so it is inherently consumerist in nature. And this video is not meant to be painting the entire community with a shitty little brush calling the whole thing toxic. It's not true. This video is also not meant to advocate being a purist, that you do a haul one time, I'm not gonna watch you, you're shitty, and that's it. This community is not perfect. I'm not perfect. And I think being part of a community also means not leaving it or not being silent when you see problems. This video is ultimately meant to be somewhat lighthearted, and there's a kind of like a spectrum of things I'm going to be talking about. Some of these things have caused me to do a double take, and some of these things have meant that I've unsubscribed from people. And ultimately, for a lot of these things, it's been important for me to see them as trends and to see them as potentially influencing my life, because some of these things truly have influenced my own buying habits and purchasing habits and the way that I frame makeup personally. And knowing that these things exist in my life and out there, being able to spot them has just made my habits and my triggers easier to spot. I would love to hear your experiences and your thoughts below. I would also like to say before I begin that it's no surprise that influencers influence and they have the power to influence. And honestly, many YouTubers intentionally try and influence. This is not inherently negative or positive. You don't take an ad sponsorship or get a promo code without the possibility of being able to influence your viewers to buy something. And so going beyond influencing somebody to buy, we can influence subscribers or each other in ways beyond that. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. The first thing I want to talk about, the number one, is the nail trend. And I've noticed this starting around 2018, that it's become really common for beauty YouTubers to get their nails done regularly, whether that's like acrylic or dip powder or just regular manicures, shellac, whatever it is, to have nicely manicured nails. And so I noticed this the most starting in 2018, and I can definitely see some benefits to this if you're a YouTuber, that your fingers are always nice and polished and ready to go to do product shots or things like that. And I could also see it being nice if you have money or you've budgeted for it, or it kind of fits into your beauty routine that you have money for. With that said, getting your nails done regularly is extremely expensive. Where I live, to get anything done to your nails, it's going to cost you a minimum of 50 Canadian dollars per go. And there's a lot of variance of price here, depending on where you go and what you're getting done. So I don't know how much people are paying. And I'm not trying to money shame anybody here about how somebody spends their money. But to me, I'm thinking about it. If you're spending $100 a month on nails times 12 months, it's $1,200 for a nail budget. To me, that's extremely expensive. The problem for me isn't that somebody likes to get their nails done. It's that I've personally been influenced by this. And I would like to know if you have too, because I saw this enough and I liked the look of them that I was thinking, well, maybe I should get this done too. And I really thought about it. But the thing is, I don't have the budget for it. It's an expensive added beauty expense that's generally not necessary. And it's become normal to see all kinds of people on YouTube in the beauty space have fake or really manicured nails. And I personally saw this so much that I wanted to do this too. Society puts beauty expectations onto women, and sometimes we internalize them. I've internalized them about looking specific ways or wearing makeup at specific times, and it's frustrating to see other things kind of go on that list and normalizing more time and money on beauty. I'm not about spending $1,200 a month on nails. That could be a rent payment just on nails alone. So no thanks. And in this sense, overconsumption to me is just like overspending on beauty products that aren't necessary, especially if you haven't budgeted or set money aside for that. Number 2 is the Sephora VIB sale. I've talked about this before and I'll link my video to it. The Sephora VIB sale has become a foundation or a rallying point of the beauty community. I feel as though creators normalize the VIB sale. They hype it up and they fan the fire by doing their recommendations and their VIB sale hauls, but also assumed participation of themselves and of their audience. For me personally, for years, I felt as though I had to shop the sale, or that it was a no-brainer. Of course I was going to shop the sale. And there's so much hype, and I hear so much phrasing of things like, it's so nice to save a little money, or it's so great to stock up on essentials. When I look at what people are buying in the hauls, are you really stocking up on essentials? And how much of makeup can we really call an essential? I feel as though many of those labels are just things that make people feel comfortable or helps them rationalize their own buying purchases. And again, like I'm going to say over and over again, influencers influence. And their choices and my choices are no longer individual or only influencing me or impacting me personally. It can impact and influence an entire audience. So when we normalize ideas like stock up on your essentials, the fact that you should stock up on anything that's expensive or normalizing that act in itself, to me feels like it makes me feel uncomfortable. And more than anything, the VIB sale is a way for people to feel like they're part of a community because there's so much fervor, and I feel like for a few week period, every sale, that's all that's really being put out there, or the majority of content being put out there. And so what I feel as though that says is that to be a part of this community, to be an active participant, means to buy, but also means to consume the specific kind of content. I don't feel as though someone's going to put out that content if it's not going to do well. This assumed participation, this using the VIB sales part of the community has meant that I've never personally thought of if I'm going to make a purchase or not. It's always been yes, but I've never thought about why do I need something? And so you're buying to buy, or you're trying to try, and it's buying specifically because it's the VIB sale. Of course you're going to buy something. To me, that's really unhealthy behavior. And personally, the sale maintained a lot of really shitty consumer habits and really shitty habits in general, like treating myself. Treating yourself is not horrible in itself, but when you're treating yourself with $400 purchases that you can't afford and doing that multiple times a year, that's a problem. Normalizing retail therapy. I've seen ads from Sephora and other brands that are at Sephora use this language themselves. Buying for my fantasy self and just buying whatever I wanted. Because if I'm not thinking about, do I need something? What do I actually need? Am I going to use this? Why am I buying? Then it's buying to buy. And this kind of sale behavior blurred my needs and my wants for me personally. And I don't want my community, in my eyes, I don't want the pillar of that to be a sale. That feels like a really bad community pillar. And this could be the way I've personally framed something. I wonder what you guys think about the VIB sale and its kind of pillar-like behavior, because the VIB sale to me is one of the most over-consuming, overspending kinds of times of the year. People lose their freaking minds on the sale. They buy more than they anticipated, and I've never personally set a budget. I feel as though like that speaks volumes about my purchasing decisions in the past, but it could be really hard to not buy into it, to not buy anything when you have like hundreds, if not thousands of creators telling you that the sale matters, the sale's valuable, and this is part of the community. Number 3 is trying to try. I've heard a lot of YouTubers talk about wanting to try something because of a very specific formula or a color or just a brand. Even a category of product. As a personal example for me is Glossier. I bought from Glossier to try the brand. I heard about the brand, so I wanted to try it. I liked the way it looked on people, so I wanted to try it. Even Natasha Denona. I've wanted to buy Natasha Denona to try the formula. Everybody talks about Natasha Denona formula. And I saw so much of this trying to try behavior. I think that the VIB sale can really promote that. I really want to try those Fenty palettes. I think I'll try them. I want to try this lip gloss formula. I'm gonna try it. For me, I took on this behavior that I saw all around me, and I began to think that way too. And so it's not necessarily trying something new because it's new, but trying something just to try it. And when we think that way, whether it's me or you, there's no expectation beyond the try. That's why I think this is so damaging. Even to try a trend. Yellow or like neon eyeliner, purple eyeliner was popular a few years ago. Or tie-dye is popular now. Or particular color story. Trying something for the sake of trying it just means that for me, you're not thinking about the lifespan of the product, and there's absolutely no intention of finishing it or doing anything besides trying it. So when we fill up our collections with things that we're just interested in trying, then we fill our collections with stuff we never intended on finishing or using more than once. Because a try to me is just one time. So we could use it a couple times because, you're into neon eyeliner and you want to wear it a couple times, but the try to try is nothing more than that. And for me, Glossier really stands out because I wanted to just try the brand. I saw so much about it. I didn't think, are these products for me? Is this brand for me? Is this price point for me? And do I need any of these things? Trying in itself, I feel as though is interesting and fun because we're not asking ourselves to think about our needs. Because it's not about needs. It's just about trying. I feel like I've said that word so many times. So I think it's wasteful financially and for the environment. Again, there's no long-term purchase. There's not even like a short-term. There's no real thought about the product other than the try. It becomes a problem when we have large swaths of the community thinking like this, but it can also be a personal problem when we have entire collections or huge parts of our collections where they're built on products we bought to try. The next one is normalizing never or rarely finishing products. When folks have ginormous beauty collections, you can't finish anything, even like 25% of your collection. And at that point, makeup doesn't actually become a thing of using it. It becomes a thing of collecting. This is so incredibly wasteful because I think that a lot of these habits can like pile up and lay together where we don't think about our products. Like if you're doing a haul, you're just interested in like trying new stuff or trying to try. Or there's other kinds of ways where we're just interested in the high of buying or the high of trying. And we don't think about more than that, beyond that. How am I going to recycle this product? Am I going to use this up? Do I have even any interest in using this up? I mean, like, don't come for me because you're somebody who wants to do a full face of Hourglass or e.l.f. Do you need to buy the eyebrow product you're never going to use again? But anyways, buying in excess, buying in bulk, we are buying in quantities so big we could never actually use all these things up. So this normalizes obviously not finishing up the product. It also normalizes never thinking about the lifespan of our product. We are literally buying for the sake of buying and the sake of creating large housing of storage of just things we're buying to own and not to use. It can also be problematic if you as an individual consumer take on this behavior as well. I've done it. That's where I'm speaking from, and I've wasted a lot of time and money on it, especially with trying trends. You want to try a trend, and that's kind of all we've thought about. And I think about around 2015, 2016, I owned 200 lip products. I never thought about the life cycle of my product. I never thought about the packaging. and I never thought about purchasing or anything more than owning more. I was never satisfied. I was frustrated because I took on this behavior that I saw with other people, and declutters can also perpetuate this to just kind of move things in and out. I've definitely seen channels where that's the case. It was frustrating because I was prioritizing things above all else. I want to normalize talking about these things and making it a regular part of our shopping experiences to talk about the life cycles of our products, to talk about why we bought stuff, to talk about why we're buying something, to like have those conversations. And there is definitely people who are doing that. And that's kind of something that I also want to take on that I love too. Let's talk about collecting makeup. I use the term makeup collection personally because I don't know how else to refer to this. I refer to my clothes as my clothes or my closet or my wardrobe. I don't know how else to call my makeup than like my makeup collection. Makeup collecting, this kind of has irked me for a long time because it absolutely normalizes and promotes ginormous collections. And here's the thing, like if you're somebody who wants to have $1 million worth of makeup, be my guest. For me personally, I don't want a large makeup collection or a collection in general because collections of things are generally things that you can keep for a long time that you're probably not using. Makeup expires. And there's definitely collections in museums or personal collections, or people have older makeup or antique makeup, but older makeup that they're not using for like display or interest purposes. That's not generally what we're talking about when we're talking about makeup collections. And I feel as though that term collecting makes people okay with owning a lot and rationalizes or allows people to rationalize owning a lot. The way that I have talked about it, and I've seen that people talk about it, I don't hear people who are collecting makeup in the beauty space using the same kind of language or outlook or people who are collecting various other kinds of things. We just want to accumulate makeup to use and to have. And I think that this makeup collecting attitude that's out there negatively influenced me and made me feel okay having a big collection because like it's normal. Like I'm collecting makeup. I love makeup. But to me, it's not the same as collecting other things. This will go bad and I'm not collecting it for beauty purposes or aesthetic purposes, but to actually wear. And if that's the case, then to me, it's not worth it. And it just promotes owning stuff, owning large quantities of stuff. Next up, sprucing up your collection, refreshing your collection. I often hear of this with the change of season. Often this implies trying a trend or getting a product or doing a haul of colors and items that really belong to that season. We're in summer now, so this could be buying coral, pink, or orange lipsticks, or similar colors worth of blush, or similar colors worth of eyeshadows. Whatever kind of color story speaks to you for that season. I also hear it around like hauls, why somebody makes a haul, and also why somebody might purchase from a VIB sale, that they wanna like spruce things up. They wanna refresh their collection. And what this does is it normalizes using makeup to cure your boredom. It normalizes wanting to want stuff and never being okay with who you are and what you have right now. If you can never be okay with what you have, it means that you're always going to want stuff and you're always going to be looking out for more. And truthfully with this one, I'm not out of this either. It's something I've noticed and I've wanted to do this too. In my no-buy year, I wanted to purchase stuff because I'm feeling stale. I've lived with this collection, this iteration of this collection. I haven't purchased any makeup since November or December, and I'm feeling kind of stale and bored with it. And that means that I have never used makeup in a utilitarian way. And I've always been on the lookout for new stuff, wanting to want stuff. And turning to makeup for other things as well. I feel as though I've made excuses for some of those things and just rationalized it as, I want to refresh. Why can we not be okay with what we have? Why is that so such a problem. And I'm really not shaming anybody for this because I'm totally struggling with this too. And it's not a rhetorical question. Why do we find it so hard to be okay with what we have? I feel as though a lot of the times we'll turn to fast fashion or drugstore because it's cheap. Because if you're interested in sprucing something up, potentially trying a trend, I hear this language all the time and it's so like, it kind of gets to me. You only want to buy the cheap thing because you know it's not going to be around for a long time. And when we're saying, oh, let's just buy the drugstore item, it's like an acknowledgement that you know you don't want this long term. You want to try. You want to use something once or twice, 3 times, and then throw it away. I've done this, and for me, this like makes me cringe at my own behavior. The last one is finding the perfect fill in the blank. The perfect deodorant, the perfect face wash, the perfect foundation. And I noticed this in myself the other day. I finished my deodorant completely, and that same day I went to the store to get a new one. I couldn't find my brand, so it's in the aisle, and I saw 2 reviews on both were kind of mixed, and I was like, I'll just get both. I'll use them up eventually, and maybe I could even review this on my channel. I was also thinking, how can you know which one is the best? Like, what is the best cruelty-free natural deodorant if you don't try them all? I did find my deodorant brand, and I still had that thought. It kind of reiterated to myself that I and this was the thing that was the catalyst for this video, that I have taken on, or I don't know, emulated behavior that I've also seen. People searching for whatever kind of product, the best product, which means even if you have a favorite, continuously trying new stuff to find one that's better, continuously being on a hunt. What this has meant is that I bought 5 foundations in a year to try and find the best oily skin foundation for me. I've just wasted so much money trying to find the best thing, even when I've had products that I've loved, like truly loved. So not only is that I've wasted money buying all this stuff, but at the same time, you're buying stuff and you're not actually sure if you're gonna like it. So there's waste accumulating there as well. But it also means continuously trying and never being okay with what you have. When you're consistently on the hunt, you are consistently buying stuff. And it's a way to rationalize buying more when you already have stuff you love. Don't want to be the person who is consistently unhappy with the state of what I own, because this could be such a trap in continuously buying and overspending and buying stuff you don't need and stuff you'll never use, stuff you just want to ultimately try to see if it's your perfect. What if it's not your perfect one? Then you just bought an entire bottle of face wash, an entire foundation that you'll never use. Never being satisfied with who you are and what you own can be a very dangerous feeling because it can never end. It's that language that people use in hauls, or why they are continuously buying foundations or face washes. And we perpetuate, me too, I'm in this community as well, and I've used this language. So we perpetuate never being satisfied and continuously being on the hunt. Like you should inherently be on the hunt, even if you love something, because there could be better. This is my little list of things that I've noticed in ways that the beauty space does promote overconsumption. What do you think? Do you have anything to add? I would love to know if you have any ideas with this category. I am actually going to do the opposite of this video. Ways that the beauty community promotes saving and conscious consumption. I'm going to do that in a couple of weeks, maybe a month. The beauty space isn't this trash, toxic environment. I think that there are definitely negative aspects of it, but the whole thing isn't bad. There are a lot of people doing a lot of great things in this space. A lot of people I love. So let me know your thoughts down below. And ultimately, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.